Hello survivors, welcome to another video. First up, take a look at this. How close are these scores from war? Insanely close. I think the difference is less than 1,000 points, and it was pretty tight at the end. I think my faction had about a 30k lead with about 10 minutes to go, but somehow the faction that HSB were warring against repaired, and they were in 10th place, and they managed to get some extra points out of them, and they finished their war. And it was exactly the same score, and somehow we're still ahead. Pretty insane, nail-biting finish, but I've never seen it be that close at the top in a war before. Definitely not in my regions, and I've never seen a screenshot on the forums or anything with it being that close. It's pretty insane. But yeah, now on to the main event, quote unquote, is the Wood Nugget event, which has the Wood Nugget collections. I'm just going to hit go, and we're going to go to the museum. And this is structured exactly the same way as the Wyatt event was. Where it costs 12,000 points for an Ascendable character, 4,500 points for Legendary Gear 2, 3,500 points for Legendary Gear... for Legendary Gear 1, 3,500 points for Legendary Gear 2, 1,600 for Epic Gear 1, and 1,200 for Epic Gear 2. Now, same sort of deal with the gear as last event. I would say avoid this gear, the 1,200 cost gear. It's a bit more readily available. You're going to get these dropped in events in the future, in bags. They're going to be a bit more readily available, so I'd avoid that. Unless you're down to your last 1,200 points, I'd avoid that. If you're over 1,600 points, even if you're like at 2,400 points, I would probably still go for one of these bags over two of the other, because these are a bit harder to come by. But I still, again, would avoid these if you can. And just go for these bags, which is Hockey Mask, Whetstone, and then you've got the holsters and the magazine. And then, obviously, probably the creme de la creme of the gear is GPS and Canteen. And you can only get 4 of these. I say only, that's still quite a lot. But I'd say go for these as your main source of gear. And really, the Ascendable Recruit is going to be completely optional. Now, I think they've missed an opportunity here, and first of all, I'll highlight that. The very first character that we got that was an Ascendable to 6-star was Ezekiel, who was a fast character. Second one was Dwight, who was a tough character. Third one was Wyatt, who was a strong character. Now, those are all 3 different traits, so the way it should go is it should be ranged, and of course we haven't had an alert character, so it should have been alert. Like if we were to follow the trend, there would have been 4 events that gave away 6-star characters, effectively an Ascendable 5-star, 2 6-star characters, and like guaranteed if you just did enough. I think there was a wheel that had Mirabelle on it, but people did that wheel and didn't get her. I think I got 3 on one of my regions, but people did do that and not get her. These are all guaranteed. As long as you actually, do what's needed, you're going to be guaranteed these Ascendable characters. Now, I think an alert character would have been a better fit. That being said, I don't think Vincent's even a good fast character. Like, it isn't like I'm going, but at least Vincent's a good fast character. He is not a good fast character. He is a damage dealer who has no damage. I did highlight this a long time ago. It's almost as if, like, I don't know, some of these numbers are like upside down, or like the 6 is actually meant to be an 8 and hasn't really been finished. Because if he had 861 damage, I'd be like, okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. That's pretty good. But 661 is like he's got lower damages. He's got lower damage than I think a revive. I think I've got a revive. I'm not sure if I've got one like maxed out. Let me just check. Like he legit has the same sort of damage as Trip. Okay. Trip's a healer. It doesn't make any sense. Now, if we go to an actual damage dealer at 5-star, like Dwight from Choose Your Side, 905 damage. Now, that was quite a lot. That was pretty decent for the event. But that's what a damage dealer is like. Now, if you go to a 6-star damage dealer, maxed out, Shiva's got like nearly 1,900. Okay? She's at maxed out tier 3, and she's got more than maxed out tier 4 damage dealer. Vincent does. So if you see 1,300 damage, or let's just say 1,400, it still doesn't sound good. because Tyrese is basically 2,000 damage, you know? And his percentage isn't even that high. It's 450%, you know, and he's got lower damage. Whereas I think Tyrese is, let's have a little look. I think Tyrese is, actually Tyrese might be 450 as well, actually. But his damage is so much higher that it's so much, oh no, 650. So, I mean, yeah, there we go. And Shiva's what, 550? There we go. So, and off the, it is counted off the base damage. And this guy's damage just isn't high enough. I'm so, you know, flustered by the fact that his damage is so low. It's if you like covered his rush and you had to guess what it would be, I would say he would probably be a healer, okay? Because he's got a lot of HP, he's got reasonable defense, which is, you know, good tanky stats. He's got no damage, so I'm like, okay, he's going to be a healer, maybe a buffer, you know, someone who just does a buff. But he does remove attack and defense penalties, but his main rush is attack, and it just isn't very strong. Now, the only thing that would lure me in would be a leader skill that would be decent. It's nearly there. If it was AP on attack, I'd probably take this character, just because it's sort of exactly what I want. A 40% stat and AP on attack is what I need for my melee team. But AP on defense, it could work. It could work for a little while, but eventually when 6-star neutralize come in and the Red Governor is, you know, seen to have neutralize, this is going to be fairly ineffective. You know, kind of how like Yellow Morgan was really strong before neutralizers were like prominent, and before like impair on attack was, you know, around. Then suddenly that stuff came along and he was almost useless, especially with like stun on attack as well. It's not as useful. Whereas AP on attack, you can get like much faster rushes, second turn command rushes on defense, you know, that sort of thing. And I'm waiting for a decent leader that can have that sort of thing. You know, 40% defense, 40% HP, even 40% attack and AP on attack. That's what I'm waiting for personally. But so I think this is quite a big miss in terms of the character. Now, in past events, that might have been a massive issue. Like, damn, this event's a complete failure because the main thing, the Ascendable, for me, is useless. Like, as an individual, like for someone out there, this could be a great character, but for me, it's not good. But however, because the way they structured this, and it's obviously it's structured the same way as the white event, I'll just go for gear. I'm still happy with gear, so I think they've structured this quite well. I have complained about this in the past, where I don't think that they've managed to reuse successful structured tournaments, structured events. As you know, they've had successful events in the past and not reuse the same structure. Now, I'm not really a massive fan of this structure. I think it's kind of boring. Like, there's nothing like fun about it, but at least the way the structure of the rewards is good. Like, the way we get these wood nuggets is actually just like, is very, very, very boring. Prizes in tournaments only, pretty much. Maybe a roadmap. There's nothing special. There's nothing that I'm going, oh, that's fun, you know, and that's something that is kind of missing. Some sort of creativity on how we would achieve getting these wood chips or wood nuggets. That's my only complaint, really. But just leaning back to the fact that it's not an alert character. If we look at the release, you know, this is the release order of the characters. You know, on this screen alone, you can see there's 2 free-to-play fast characters, 2 free-to-play strong characters, and we know there's 2 free-to-play tough characters at least, because there's Tyrese and Dwight, but there's also 2 here, which is Yumiko and Abraham. Then we have another free-to-play Wyatt character, and obviously free-to-play if you got him in the event. Free-to-play Barker as well. He's been given away quite a lot. I think he's in the wheel, and he was given away as a was it a level up reward, I think, once upon a time. I don't mean like level up in terms of placement. It was level up in terms of milestone. I mean, when they brought in the characters as milestones, that was a really nice idea. It's a shame they went away with that. Now, Mirabelle is the only free-to-play alert character. There's no other free-to-play alert character. Jeremiah Herschel, no. Tara, yes, but no one's going to get her very soon. And if they do, I mean, they got extremely lucky, but I don't think you're going to max her out because you need those flare guns as well. I mean, she's actually semi-decent, but she's semi-decent now. In like a year when most people are going to really be getting her, she's maybe not going to be as useful. None of these other characters are free to play. Now, Rick has been a 2 times Premier. Premiered when he was a 5 and Premier when he was a 6. But he is a legacy character. There's not enough alert characters. Where are the alert characters? Now, this would have been a perfect event to do an alert character. Now, if we look at where Vincent is, the other characters that are around him are Jeremiah, who they did a promotion at New Year's, so probably not a good idea to do him. But Herschel would have been absolutely perfect. He's the second, or I guess, or Rosita, but I think Herschel would have been a nicer fit in terms of, I think everyone would have gone for Herschel unless they already had Herschel. Because he is a really nice character, Guardian 2. It allows people with range teams to have Guardian 2, which is a very strong specialist skill. And the only way you can get that is if you have Ezekiel in a range team, which is kind of a bad force in my opinion. So I think Herschel would have been a better fit, but that's just my opinion. He would have gone straight into my other region's team, and I would have actually picked him up on this region and probably ascended him just because his Guardian 2 would be really, really useful, even if just like for faction assault, even just for, you know, survival roads. You know, even if I never used him in raids, he would be really useful in other parts of the game. And I think that was a missed opportunity in terms of, I don't think we've got enough alert free-to-play characters. I know we've got one in the pipeline or 2 in the pipeline with Governor and Eugene, but I think, you know, one of each trait as the first 4 that they actually gave away in events would have been perfect. And I guess I just really wish I had Herschel. But yeah, that's it. That's the end of this video, guys. What do you think? What do you think about this event? What are you going to go for? If we look at the stuff again, I would say, of course, stick to the 3 on the left. I'm probably going to go for 1 or 2 of the legendary gear. I'm just going to wait until I get a canteen. The second I get a canteen, I'm going to jump over to legendary gear 2 and just go and just try and get lucky with this box. I think I need quite a few hockey masks to get my Shiva to tier 4. But what are you guys going to go for? Are you going to go for Vincent? I mean, he might fit perfectly into your team. You know, you could maybe have the perfect setup with his leader skill, or you could actually think his rush is useful. Maybe I'm missing something. Am I missing something? Tell me what I'm missing, because it just seems a bit odd to me. There seems to be something a little bit odd. Like, it's almost as if his, I don't know, there are 2 stats that are the wrong way around. Like his defense and his damage are the wrong way around or something. Or the 3-7-3 is actually meant to be like 8-7-3. I don't know. But yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Keep on surviving. Keep on surviving.